The Envoy's last message. Ambassador Elaine Rourke adjusted her collar as the twin sons of Virek Prime bathed the Galactic Concord's central forum in golden violet light. She stood tall on the dais, the human insignia glinting on her jacket, an olive branch wrapped around a globe. 52 species stared down at her from their elevated perches, eyes of every color and shape, breathing in chemical cocktails unique to their kind. There was no applause, no welcome, only quiet calculation. Rourke took a breath. Esteemed representatives of the Galactic Concord, I come not in conquest, nor with demands. I come with peace. The silence deepened. For centuries, humanity watched the stars, wondering if we were alone. When we discovered evidence of the Concord's existence, we believed our greatest dream had come true, unity beyond Earth. A few alien diplomats shifted. One, a crystalline being from Xerex, clicked a sharp limb against its seat in irritation. We offer trade, cultural exchange, scientific collaboration. We offer partnership. She paused, then added, we offer friendship. From a corner, a low mechanical voice burst. Your species is known for war, genocide, pollution. You tamper with artificial intelligence and genetic weaponry. Why should we believe in your peace? Rourke turned her gaze toward the speaker, High Counselor Vosen, a senior voice among the Concord and a long-standing xenophobe. Because we've learned it. We've suffered. Our darkest days are behind us, not ahead. That's what makes our peace sincere. We don't offer perfection, we offer growth. A murmur spread through the chamber, but no reply came. Instead, Vosen stood and made a simple motion. Guards in obsidian armor entered silently. Rourke's eyes narrowed. Is there a problem? Ambassador Rourke, Vosen said coldly, you are being detained for security violations. What violations? I haven't left this forum. I've been under Concord surveillance since arrival. You smuggled dangerous technologies onto Concord soil, he interrupted. We've discovered nanite traces on your diplomatic shuttle. That is a violation of Protocol 7. That's a lie, Rourke said calmly. My ship was inspected, twice. You planted something, didn't you? Vosen smiled thinly. Your aggression is noted. The guards surrounded her. I invoke Article 3 of the First Contact Treaty, she declared. Diplomatic immunity. No such treaty has been ratified, Vosen said. You are not one of us. You are a trespasser. The guards grabbed her arms. Rourke didn't resist. She only looked up, straight into the chamber's broadcast lens, and spoke one last line into the galaxy. Earth extended its hand, and you chose to bite it. The energy blade struck her spine from behind. The chamber was silent as her body crumpled. Across the solar winds, orbiting Jupiter, Command Station Archangel received the broadcast. General Kessler watched in silence as Elaine Rourke collapsed. Lifeless, her blood pooling on the floor of diplomacy. Around him, officers froze, some in horror, others in disbelief. She was unarmed, someone whispered. They executed her, said another. Kessler stood slowly. His face, hard as iron, betrayed no emotion. He tapped a panel. Secure transmission to EarthGov. Priority 1. The hologram of President Sorella Day appeared, eyes hollow, jaw tight. You saw it? Kessler asked. I did. They made it public. They made it personal. He nodded. Orders. The president said nothing for a moment. Then she drew in a breath. Initiate Protocol Leviathan. The room fell silent. Kessler's hand hovered over the command pad. You're sure? They sent her there to die. They spat on our offer. They filmed it. Burn it into their skies. He pressed the button. Protocol Leviathan activated. Beneath the moons of Saturn, deep within the asteroid belt, and hidden in the dark space beyond Pluto, ancient engines stirred. Silent dreadnoughts, blacker than void and older than the public believed possible, began to wake. Earth's secret fleet, Oblivion Wing, had been summoned. Rourke's face flickered once more across the screen. She had smiled when she arrived. Now, her death would be the first domino. Humanity unleashed. The cold silence of deep space cracked open as the Oblivion Wing awakened. From forgotten black sites buried inside asteroid fields and shadow planets, Earth's deadliest fleet emerged. 29 stealth dreadnoughts, each powered by quantum singularity cores, armed with neutron lancers and kinetic sun pisses. No planetary defense system had ever even detected them. And now, they were moving. Admiral Kaz Kessler stood at the command throne of the flagship Nemesis, staring into the tactical display. His uniform was matte black, unadorned, no medals, no rank. Those who served in the Oblivion Wing needed no ceremony, only vengeance. All wings report online. His XO, Commander Yua Tanaka, confirmed. Oblivion Wing is fully operational, awaiting mission priority. Kessler's jaw tightened. Target Concord High Military Command. First strike, Narcal Defense Net. Wipe it clean. Yua's fingers danced across her console. Firing solution locked. Dreadnoughts 3 through 7 prepped for silent deployment. Kessler's voice was a low growl. No announcements. No warnings. Let them feel the void before they see us. A Narcal Defense Net. Galactic Concord Border System. The Narcal system was considered impenetrable. 8 defense moons, thousands of orbiting drones, and an AI command nexus protected the eastern edge of Concord space. The defenders never saw it coming. At precisely 2:37 Galactic Standard Time, a pinprick of gravity surged into the system. Just a flicker, and then everything went dark. Kinetic rods dropped from faster-than-light trajectories, invisible until the moment of impact. Each was the size of a telephone pole, launched at near-relativistic speed. They hit with the force of extinction. Defense moons cracked in half. Orbital platforms vaporized. AI cores overloaded and died screaming in machine code. In under 30 seconds, the entire Narcal defense net ceased to exist. Survivors on the surface of Narcal Prime watched in horror as their protective sky burned. A Concord Council Emergency Session. Location: Sector Throne World, Nerian Spire. Panic rippled through the Concord Council. They didn't even send a declaration of war, a reptilian delegate shouted. This was no ordinary attack, said High Counselor Myron, one of the more moderate voices. That was targeted decapitation. Coordinated. Clean. Human. Verzin, the one who had ordered Rourke's execution, sneered. Good. Let them lash out. We'll crush them. Activate all fleets. Myron glared at him. You've doomed us. Verzin pounded the table with a clawed fist. They were barbarians to begin with. Now they've proven it. A junior aide burst into the chamber, trembling. Another broadcast, from Earth, to all Concord systems. They played it. Kessler's face appeared on every screen, his eyes ice cold. You murdered a peaceful envoy. You mocked our offer. You filmed a death. Now you'll understand what silence means to us. We won't occupy. We won't rebuild. We won't negotiate. This is not war. This is the removal of a threat. We are Oblivion Wing. You've awoken the Leviathan. Earth Defense Directorate, Secure Briefing Room. President Sorella Day watched the first reports come in. 24 Concord installations disabled. Minimal civilian casualties. 0 human losses. Aides surrounded her, whispering legal consequences, diplomatic fallout. She ignored them all. Our orders stand, she said. No invasion. No negotiation. But, Madam President, one aide hesitated. The destruction. It's complete. You're going to break the galaxy. She looked out the window at the Earth below, peaceful, blue, and whole. They broke it when they slaughtered our peace. All we're doing is cleaning up the mess. On board Nemesis, 2 days later, Admiral Kessler reviewed the next strike pattern. We've neutralized military command. Next, infrastructure. Target. You are asked. They're quantum relay hubs. Cut their comms. Blind them. Then we go for the spire. Kessler stared into the void ahead, remembering Rourke's final words. Earth extended its hand. Now, it clenched into a fist, and the galaxy would feel every bone it broke. The fracture. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. In the span of 1 Earth week, 37 Concord systems lost contact with Central Command. Quantum relays shattered. Shipyards reduced to slag. Civilian transports vanished without trace, spared, but visibly marked with EarthGov beacons that read, "You are not the enemy." Yet, what began as vengeance was fast becoming a systemic dismantling, and the Concord was crumbling under the weight of its own arrogance. Our Concord War Council, Hidden Moon Facility, Talex V. High Counselor Vosen was shouting again, spittle flying from his jagged mouth. "Retaliate! Bane them down! We have fleets, armadas. Humanity is one planet." "But not one world," said Counselor Myron grimly. "You forget, they've colonized their system, and they've spent decades in silence while building weapons we can't even detect." Vosen slammed his claw against the steel table. "They are primitive apes." A young aide approached quietly, handing Myron a datapad. He read it and paled. "Oblivion Wing just took out the Zinka wall," he muttered. "It held off the Vark invasion for 40 years. Gone in under an hour." Silence filled the room. It was then that Viril, a junior diplomat from the empathic race known as the Loranthi, finally spoke up. "We executed their envoy in cold blood. They came offering peace, and we slaughtered her. What did you expect they would do?" Vosen sneered. "You speak as though you admire them." Viril met his eyes. "I fear them. But more than that, I understand them." Oblivion Wing, Strike Group Sigma, orbit of Yalak Prime. Admiral Kessler stood on the viewing deck of the Nemesis, watching the quiet evacuation of yet another Concord-controlled world. The residents had surrendered the moment the dreadnought appeared in orbit. Not a single shot had been fired. His XO, Yua Tanaka, approached. "We've received a message. Not from the Concord, one of the minor species. The Loranthi." Kessler raised an eyebrow. "What do they want?" "A meeting. They claim to have information about Rourke's assassination. Evidence that it wasn't Concord law. It was a coup." Kessler turned slowly. "Let them speak." Secure Hollis White, Nemesis. Viril's projection flickered into view. His skin shimmered in gentle tones of blue and green, emotions visible in waves of light across his body. "I don't speak for the Concord," he said. "I speak for those who still remember what the Concord was, before corruption." "You're risking your life," Kessler noted. "I've already lost my parents. They were Concord diplomats, murdered after supporting Earth's inclusion, silenced by Vosen and his cabal." Kessler's eyes narrowed. "Prove it." Viril held up a chip. "Here is the internal memo authorizing Rourke's execution. Not for security reasons, for political optics. They believe killing your envoy would unite the Concord under fear of humanity. And instead," Kessler said coldly, "they signed their death warrant." "I don't ask you to stop," Viril said softly. "I ask for a line. Spare the species that stood against this." Kessler considered him for a long moment. "Transmit the data. If it checks out, you'll be heard." Later that day, EarthGov Executive Chambers. President Day sat with her inner circle. The transmission from Viril was playing on repeat, the details grim and undeniable. "It wasn't all of them," one aide said. "Vosen led a conspiracy. Most of the council didn't even know." The president stayed out the window. Earth remained untouched, still blue, still bright. "Then we offer a new message," she said. A galaxy-wide broadcast. 1 day later, Admiral Kessler's face appeared once again. "We have learned the truth. Not all of you chose war, but enough of you remained silent. We are not conquerors. We do not seek your planets, but justice will be served. If your species stood against the execution, send us your envoys. Swear neutrality or alliance. If you supported the murder, prepare for consequences. We will burn out the rot, and from it, a new order will rise." Our aftermath. Across the galaxy, the Concord fractured. 12 species declared neutrality, cutting ties with the Council. 5 offered intelligence in exchange for peace. 3, brave or desperate, openly aligned with Earth. Vosen fled into deep space, his former allies abandoning him. And behind every transmission, every broadcast, every silence, the shadow of Earth grew larger. The extermination hadn't stopped, but now it had purpose. The last transmission, The skies above Nerian's throne, the once glorious capital of the Galactic Concord, were choked with ash and debris. The once proud spires of the Concord's High Hall, an architectural marvel of living crystal and anti-gravity columns, now lay shattered across the city. Flames curled around its remnants as panicked civilians fled underground bunkers, hoping the storm above might pass them over. But this storm had a name: Oblivion Wing. From orbit, the flagship Nemesis held position like a silent god. Admiral Kessler stood at the holo table, the capital's defense systems already marked in red, neutralized within minutes. There'd be no real fight, only the illusion of resistance. Final targets acquired, Commander Yua Tanaka reported. Enemy council chambers located. All life signs confirmed. Vozen is among them. Kessler nodded. Send them a final message. One chance to surrender. Yua raised an eyebrow. You think they'll take it? No, but it matters that we offer. Inside Nerian's throne, Concord emergency bunker. Counselor Vozen watched the broadcast flicker to life on a cracked holopanel. Admiral Kessler's voice came through with the calm of a man who had already won. High Council of the Concord. Surrender now. You will face trial, not annihilation. This is your last chance. Vozen spat on the floor. Trial by apes. I would rather die choking on ash. Myron, injured and leaning against a wall, looked at him with disgust. You already are. Before anyone could answer, the bunker shook violently. The power dimmed. Screams echoed from the levels above. Kessler wasn't waiting. Orbit, Nemesis command deck. Status? Kessler asked. Yua responded without hesitation. Precision strike completed. Bunker sealed. Life signs neutralized. Kessler exhaled slowly. It's done, he said. The war was over. But silence settled across the deck. Not relief. Not celebration. Just silence. Later, EarthGov Global Broadcast. President Sorella Day stood at a podium before the United Nations complex, its flags now interwoven with banners of the human colonies across Mars, Titan, Europa, and beyond. The whole of humanity watched, billions on Earth, and millions more spread across the stars. We did not seek this war, she began. We sought peace. They offered betrayal. They killed our envoy. They desecrated diplomacy. And in doing so, they revealed the truth of the galaxy. That peace must be defended, not begged for. She paused. No sound, not even the wind. Our response was brutal, yes, because mercy without justice is permission. And Earth will never again beg for a seat at any table. We will build our own. Cheers erupted from the crowd. Across the galaxy, it echoed as a warning and a promise. Lyranthe homeworld. Days later, Viril stood on the lush green cliffs of his homeland, looking at the sky. Beside him stood a delegation of human diplomats and scientists. Earth had spared his people, and more than that, had invited them to help build a new alliance. Not of dominance, not of fear, but of truth. Kessler's voice, once again, rang out in a final galaxy-wide transmission. We do not seek rule. We do not claim dominion. But know this. If you raise a hand to Earth, that hand will never rise again. We came in peace. You answered in blood. And now, Earth remembers. Deep space, 1 month later. The Oblivion Wing returned to its hidden orbitals in the dark reaches beyond Pluto, silent once more. Ships were cleaned, maintained, and docked. Not decommissioned, only sleeping. Humanity would never again trust the stars to be kind. And so, they waited, ready. Rourke's name was etched into the side of the UN Earth Embassy on Mars, her final words beneath it. Earth extended its hand. Final lines. The galaxy would rebuild. New alliances would form. But from that day forward, every diplomat, every warlord, every starborn emperor knew one unshakable truth. You do not kill an Earth envoy. Not unless you're ready to meet the Leviathan.